This should be the final chapter on it. I've started wiring up the brakes, and I decided I better go through these bearings and mechanical assemblies before I get too far. So I'm on the second one here. I've sanded the face of this magnet, got its little floats on there good. I've cleaned and lubricated all the pivot points on the brakes themselves. When the trailer is going forward, the drum is rotating this way. So it would catch this and pull it this direction. It cams that shoe out right there. And then these are connected on the bottom with a spring, so it's going to also be camming this one out. Kind of interesting. I've never worked on these before. I did research it. I have to hook up all these wires, and apparently there is no polarity on these two wires. So I was taking the bearings out, and this one was plenty loud when I was spinning it. And I found that. And that. This outer bearing is shot. The numbers are actually wiped off of it. I think it's a standard size bearing for a 6,000 or 7,000 pound axle, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Maybe when I get to the other side, one of them will have a number on it. I'm going to keep a spare set of bearing cones and grease in this toolbox in case that ever happens on the road. I also found out these are manual adjust brakes. They don't auto adjust. There are no threads in this back piece here. You got to get in there every now and then and adjust them up, you know, through these back holes here, or that, or go through the trouble of taking the drum off. That's actually how that spring and that manual adjuster is supposed to look. I'll be looking at the drums too, probably cleaning the insides of this up. Maybe scuff that. That looks pretty good there though. I went with 2x8s pressure treated pine. So they're actually 1.5 inches by 7.5. I was going to go with rough cut oak, which is actually 2 inches by 8 inches. But that didn't fit in here. And actually the stuff we have doesn't fit in there. So we have to dado it. We have to dado it this wide and then that deep. I have this piece of crap table saw here, but it did take the dado blade. It's about 7/8 of an inch cut there. We got it set at 3/8 inch deep.
So we're using a non-professional tool here, and it's underpowered. And we're taking these boards and we're clearancing them so that they'll lay up on the angle iron. So the outer boards have to be, he calls it dadoed. And it's a 3-man job here, and the sawdust is ridiculous, and you can't feed it too fast, and when you hit a knot, it dogs down, and it's taken a long time just to get this notch cut out of the wood. But once that's done, then we can start laying the rest of the boards. We got this from a friend, and the motor was replaced, and they put a little washing machine motor in there. So then we had to reduce the amount of teeth for cutting. So then we had to take half cuts. So we're running through, you'll see the finished product here. We removed 4 inches, because that's what it does. It lays up on the angle iron. So for 2 hours, we've been just running this thing through with 3 guys, just feeding it through, and then eliminated all this wood. Now we can start laying wood into the truck. So you can see all this sawdust that, you know, was the removal that used to be a 1/2 inch of wood down a, what are these, 14 or 16? 14 inch boards. And then between cuts, I was taking an air compressor and blowing the dust out of the motor and trying to cool it down. We got the job done, but if we would have had the right equipment, we could have just zipped it right through.
So I had this all wired up. I decided to continuity test it just to check it before I close it up. It's basically checking this with the plug. It wasn't adding up. I went ahead and hooked the truck up to it. I got the left turn signal on there. I'm just using this marker light here as a test light. If I hook it up to the red, it blinks. So this box is all color-coded wrong for what I need. So it's just a matter of screwing around with it a minute to figure out what's what. Luckily the ground is in the right spot because they got a gazillion connections there. So they got left turn signal yellow going to red. They got right turn signal green going to brown. Marker lights and tail lights brown going to green. Aux power is black, and reverse lights are yellow. They get the blue trailer brakes and the white ground correct. That's what you get when you buy this Chinese crap. Putting the wood in here, we got these fatty welds, so we're cutting 45s on the ends of all the boards to clearance that. We got one last 2x6, so we're gonna have to rip it. Then we're gonna snap some chalk lines for the screws. I only went with one screw on the end board. I didn't want to drill into that fatty angle. They didn't on the original installation. We didn't even cut this 2x6. Just beat it in there. It fit perfectly. These are self-threading screws. Got a license plate light. I went this way so it doesn't get smashed. Hopefully I don't get harassed for that. Until I get a chance to hook this up, I'll probably just tape it to the fender. Well, there it is. The deck's finally on it. Pretty pleased with it. I'll probably let it dry out over the winter and then pressure wash it and stain it in springtime. My new bearing came in. USA. Timken taper roller bearing. I got my ram back from the hydraulic shop. Here's what it looks like now. And here's the skinny on this. Right now it's in the retracted position. So like the puck's back here and this is filled up with oil. And then when it expands, the rod goes this way with the puck and it forces all the oil through here, through this restriction, adjustable restriction, to the back side of it. So what I had them do is add a valve. I asked for a normally open, and they gave me a normally closed. But it's good enough for now. Apparently this valve is easily changeable. Like you don't have to bleed it out. We'll install it and give her a shot. They're calling this like a DIN clip. Apparently you can point this either direction. I think I'm gonna point it this way for now to figure this out. Alright, I got a battery hooked up to it. A makeshift cord and a switch. Here's something going on. Hope it works. I jumped up pretty far. I think there's air in it. I would guess that the heat didn't get it all out. But let's open the valve and see if she goes the rest of the way. So I'm gonna lock it now here, or shut it off. We'll see how much this deal goes down. Yeah, there's gotta be a ton of air in this thing. The deal is I gotta use her right now no matter what though, so we're gonna load up a Pontiac on here.
It is fantastic now that we have a functioning trailer for hauling stuff around. But when you have a low vehicle like this, if it would have had a spoiler on it, it would have ripped off. And then you have to deal with other things, make other ramps. But once we got on, we wanted to have the motor weight down here. It was patching out. You can come up here and see we need some traction tape or something on the wood because the tires were just patching out. And this thing's gotta go. We gotta get this off to the side so we can pull it back further.
I think that's gonna be about it on this trailer video for now. Gotta add a couple marker lights here and there yet, but
I don't like the sight on this. Acorn squash. It's holding up pretty good. Oh, that one blew up nice.
that's all for now. Thanks for watching.